Hello, 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 Marlene here. I don't know if any of you noticed, but I took some time off this summer to spend some much needed quality time with my children and also to rejuvenate my creative juices. They were running a little dry and needed some time off. When you're constantly trying to generate ideas, eventually you just run out of them. Even if I wasn't actually making cookies, I was, on Instagram and looking at ideas, and I came upon an artist on Instagram. Her name is Little Black Heart, and she inspired this platter. I love the whimsy of her drawings, and I thought a platter was a fun idea since there's so many size cookies. It's perfect when you're having guests. Not everybody wants a big cookie, and it's just such an impactful design on the table. It's just visually pleasing, and so I thought that would be the first project I would do for my return. I hope you enjoy today's step-by-step tutorial. Here I drew on some guidelines just to know where to end my petal. I'm just going to outline my cookie here. I have a number 2 piping tip, and I'm just quickly going around the cookie. I find that when I let the line drop onto the cookie as opposed to dragging my piping tip onto the surface, I get a better line. My piping line is on the big side with a number 2, but when I fill with my icing, part of the line will be hidden by the color, and so it won't be as fat, and that's why I am using a 2, because if it was smaller then it would be practically not visible once the actual icing is flooded there. So just run through like so, and we're going to let that dry just a little bit so that we can get a bit of a separation between the black and the color. Here you can see before baking I flipped a few of the cookies over so that they're not all going in the same direction, and now I'm just grabbing my darker icing and filling in one side. This little area is a bit tricky, so if you can't get in there, just drag the icing in with your needle. Just tuck it in there. And you might want to do this just to avoid any kind of potholes in that area. And now we can just come in and fill. Make sure your line is connecting to the black here. And again on this side. And then once that's done, we can just quickly fill the middle. My icing is slightly thick. I had made it like this for my accent cookie that's like a branch a bit, so that my dots would hold. And I'm trying to avoid pouring it back into the bowl to make it a bit runnier. On this side here, I'm looking to get these kind of stripes, the 2-color green. And so I'm starting by just creating these sections like so, and then I'm going to fill like that, skipping and then filling this one. Immediately grab the other color. And we're just going to pick it up, give it a shake. Now, this is one of the accent cookies, no black on this particular design. I'm just creating a bit of greenery. And just really simple, just dots and pull. This is supposed to be a surfboard. I've never used it as an actual surfboard, I always kind of like it for petals and things like that. I think it would make a rather thin surfboard. Not much room to get too much of a design on it. And let's shake this out so we can get the ripples out. And there's our little branch. Just going to add a few lines to the leaves just so that the style ties in with the rest. I'm just redoing the center line. It's a bit faded with the icing coming at it from both sides. And then I'm just doing a black line on top of where the two colors meet here. Here are the petals to the flower, the large flower. And I'm just running through them all, adding a black outline to each of them. And we're going to let this dry a little bit before coming in and adding our color, our flood icing. Here are the petals to the main flower. I'm working in 2 shades of pink. If you look closely, you can see. And I'm just filling here. This is actually going to be hidden. And then on this side, I'm going connecting to the black. And then here I'm just doing a kind of jagged line. And then fill all this. Then I'm grabbing my other shade of pink, slightly darker. And I'm connecting to this side, the black line. And then like that. Going to pick it up, shake it to smooth the two together. So I'm not using my needle. I don't want them too mixed up. I want a bit of a separation, a white dot dead center. This white icing has had, I added white food gel to that actually to make it brighter. And we're going to let that settle, and then we'll add a few finishing lines. Just finalizing the petals, I wanted to add a bit of interest. I had added a white dot to each petal, and now I'm just highlighting it by outlining it in black icing. This is a 1.5 tip. Make sure your icing isn't too stiff when you're using such a small piping tip, because it'll kill your hand. You're squeezing for no reason. And then some little accent lines. They'll make more sense once this all is assembled. Now for my little purple accent cookie, coming in with my darker of the two and just doing a little area on each petal like so, working my way around. Fill the center. There. And then we're going to come in with the lighter and finalize. Fill that. And now let's give it a little shake to smooth out the surface here. Make sure it's touching the black line. And we're going to let this dry before filling in the center. And here is the little tiny accent cookie. I'm using the lighter of the two yellows, and I'm just quickly filling in each petal, starting here at the outside and then pulling towards the center. The center doesn't have to be perfect since it will be hidden with a little white dot later on. Here are all my assorted flowers. The pink is the middle. I made a few extras. And now I'm grabbing my black line and I'm just creating the outline for the middle. So you're using the points as your guide to draw your circle. Just like that, and we are done. So like I'm using these points as my guide. So I'm connecting, going all around, letting the icing fall, and keep it moving. Finalizing this cookie here, grabbing my dark yellow and I'm just filling the whole area. And then grabbing my lighter yellow and I'm just making a swirl there in the center. Just like so. And then the white, this will give a little reflection and a little bit of whimsy to the design. Shake it out so that it's all level. And there we have our little flower. I thought I'd just do the centers in white here, a bit of a reverse on the classic daisy. I didn't want my petals white. So I'm just filling in this middle. Just like so. There, and now I'm just adding a little reflection, some interest here, some dots to this big white area. Kind of looks like a ghost face, but there. And now for the center of the flower here, I'm just adding some light yellow first, not that light, but lighter than the darker one. And about to half like that, and then just like a really wonky line. And then we're going to come in on the other side with the darker yellow. So just quickly fill this in. And grabbing the darker one and connecting the two colors. I'm not using my needle to blend. I want that separation. Let's give it a shake. And then I'm right where the two meet, I'm adding a big white dot. And then some littler ones. Just like that. And that'll all settle in together, creating a kind of like ceramic kind of look. Here is the completed platter once again. Obviously you could do this in so many different color palettes. Perhaps the perfect platter to bring for this coming Thanksgiving, you could do some more kind of orangey tones, some brown, make it a little bit more seasonal. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future uploads, and I'll see you next time.